Hi, everybody. This is Ken Varga. Listen, I'm at 78 years old. It just astounds me how, you know, this technology of today, how I can communicate with you and help you via just the internet. I mean, it's just fascinating. But anyway, I just got a few things I want to go over with you before we get started. Number one, you're all going to get a link to the webinar so that you can watch it in your leisure, so that when you come across certain pages and slides, you could just pause it. Like if you want to copy the messages and whatever that I have there. You do want to have a pen and pad handy to take notes. So again, you're going to get the recordings and also hold the questions off. You can write them in the question part, and then we'll answer it at the end. But anyway, I just want to get started because, you know, this LinkedIn is just phenomenal for me, for everybody, if it's done properly. So I wanted to go over today. The webinar is entitled "How to Generate Sales for Your Business Using LinkedIn Step by Step." Here's just a little background on John Davern and me. I'm going to ask John to speak in a little bit so that he can be help you in just different ways. I've been dealing with them for 5 years now, where I've hired their virtual assistants, who are just remarkable. But you can pause this and look over the background. But anyway, using LinkedIn as a lead generation machine. Over the past year, we've seen all several new features that LinkedIn has come about, evolving in exciting ways, but also confusing ways. These updates are designed to help people find a job, attract business clients and customers, build personal brand, and just to network. Today, I'm going to teach you how to increase your connections using the new LinkedIn designed for prospecting. Specifically, I'll cover three key techniques you can use in LinkedIn to generate new connection requests for your business. Plus, I'm going to go over three other concepts and how to get individuals that you can talk to. These techniques can help you consistently generate up to 10 to 25 new prospects per month by turning your connections into prospects to whom you can sell your products or services to. Now, I don't know if any of you know, but LinkedIn is 277% more effective for lead generation than Facebook or Twitter. Now, you have three degrees on LinkedIn. The first degree, which is the ones where you got their personal data, who are personally connected to you. And then the second and third degree, which you could pause this slide and read about it when you get the link. But our prime concept is to get the second and third degree individuals to be our first degree individuals so that we can now get their personal data and communicate with them to make sales. They're, the first key LinkedIn task that I'm going to do is sending connection requests. Now, there's three ways that you could do that. The city method, like Sacramento, California, where you type the city in, the advanced search keyword method, and the first letter method, LinkedIn groups, where you go into a group you belong to where your prospect is, and you start with the letters AA and search for members, and then request the connection request, then you go to AB, then you go to AC, etc. So sending requests using the city method. Again, go to the home page, type in the city on the top. In this example, it's Sacramento, California, and click the search icon. Now, it'll start listing people. You want to click on people, by the way, and then connections, and click in the box that says second level. And then after you've done 100 pages of second level, which I'll go over in a minute, then you click on third level and do those. And then you click on apply. Now, each page will display 10 names. You start with the first name, you click on connect, and scroll all the way down to the last name. So when you're going to click on connect, you're going to send a message, and you're welcome to copy my message. All right. So you want to click on add a note, and then here's my message. You could pause it, copy it, put it into a Word document, and then every day you just copy this, paste it. It'll take you less than 5 minutes every day to send out 30 connection requests. All right. So it's important that you do this, and you could see the message there. But anyway, then you want to do 30 of them a day, as I just mentioned, and you want to continue on the bottom till you do 100. Now, you might do the first 20 and then on page 3, always make a note where you leave off so that this way the next day you go into Sacramento, California, click on people, click on connection, click on second, click on apply, scroll down to the bottom, click on page 3, and continue where you left off. And you just do this for the first 100 pages. And then when you get that done, then you go to the third level. You click in the box that says third level apply, and you do the next 100 pages. Now, another way you can build your connections can be done on the first name method, where you type a name in. And I put together a common name list. So if you'd like a copy of it, just email me at kenpbg@aol.com, and I'll send you off the common list name I have so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Now, to see other ways to send connection requests, visit our webinar replay videos at buildyourbussinessfast.com/webinar hyphen replays. And you'll be able to look at other webinars that I've done where you could see other ways to send connection requests. Number 2, key LinkedIn tasks, building your contacts database and setting the following up message. This is important because when they connect with you, you want to be able to communicate with them in order to make sales. So you view and add your connection request, and you're going to put them into your database once the people have accepted your connection. So the way you do that is to locate who they are is you click on the top where it shows by network, where I have it circled. Then under my network, you'll see the ones who accepted your invitation to connect. Select all, and then click on recently added using a drop-down arrow. And then you just right-click on a connections profile picture and their name, and you open it in a new tab. Now you click on See Contact Info. This is where you're going to get their full email address and their phone number. If they don't list their phone number, then what you do is just go to their employer, do the search by Yellow Pages or White Pages directory using the address, and you'll be able to get the phone number for that individual there. And it's important that you do that. Then what you do is you put all that data into your database, first name, last name, phone number, and email. Now you want to customize a thank you message to send to the connection request acceptance. Now I'll show you my thank you message in a minute, but in order to send a thank you message, you click on the name and then message, and then what you do is in the message box, you'll type the thank you message for connecting with you. Here's mine, but what you want to do is to develop your own and massage your own to fit your own personality. And always, I try to offer a free gift, which could be a free book or what have you. If any of you ever want to offer anything, you're welcome to talk to me and I'll be glad to help you out. After typing in the thank you message, hit enter to send it. You can also then follow up with a phone call to your new connection, which I'm going to go over in a minute. I'll show you what it is. But it's always important that once you collect this data, email, name, and phone number, that you put the name and phone number on a separate sheet of paper, because the key to 99% of the sales is the follow-up phone call after you've sent the messages that I'm going over. So after you've sent the connection message, you want to just, when you put the information into the database and you send the message off, you want to write on a separate sheet of paper their name and phone number. All right. So now I'm going to go over it. I'll do the script in a minute. But now I want to go over getting leads using endorsements, birthday, and congratulations. So how to endorse your connections and then send follow-up messages to those who endorse you. What you do is every day you're going to click on My Network and then click on Connections on the left. Then you click on the recently added icon there. Then click on a connection's name to bring up their profile. Then you scroll down to get into their skills and endorsements section. Click on one of the plus signs to endorse them. I only will do one or two endorsements in order to get them to respond, because they will respond. You want to repeat this with the rest of your recently added connections. So for every connection, you want to do an endorsement. You want to click on My Network at top to return to your network, and then sort by recently added. Select the next connection and repeat previous process to endorse the latest connection on your list. The connections you endorse will then receive a notification from LinkedIn that they've been endorsed by you. The notification indicator will have the number of new notifications. They will be able to see the notification by clicking the notification icon. A certain number of connections you endorse will then thank you for the endorsement by clicking to say thanks icon, which will send you a thank you message. This, in its own way, opens the door for additional communication to build the relationship and for prospecting. So now you want to send your endorsement message, all right? When they sent the thank you message to them, you type it in there. The endorsement was my pleasure. The greatest endorsement I could give you would be a referral. Please let me know who your ideal referral would be. Then endorsements can be seen on the profile page by scrolling down to the featured skills and endorsement. You can click any of your listed skills to see who has endorsed you for that skill. And you can add new ones on, by the way. By default, endorsements are visible, but you can slide the button from the left to make the endorsement from a particular person not visible. Getting leads, sending a birthday message. Again, I'm going to go over the script to follow up with a phone call in a minute, because one will apply to all these that I'm going over with you. But it's sending a customized message to your connections having birthdays. How do you do that? You click each morning, you click. By the way, all that I'm showing you will take you less than 10 minutes every day to do this. And you'll get between 10 and 15 new prospects every day to talk to. Right? So you click on notifications. This will show notifications of anyone in your network who has started a new position, is having a work anniversary milestone, or is having a birthday, or if they liked one of your postings or commented on your group conversations. In this case, we want to message those with upcoming birthdays. And if there's multiple birthdays on it, you click on each one to see who's celebrating. For individuals, you click on say happy birthday. So you see who's celebrating. It'll show you connections. Select one and say happy birthday. You click on happy birthday. And now this is my birthday message to them. You're welcome to copy it into a Word document and just copy and paste it when you do this every day. Next, after you click on happy birthday, that's when you really start to build a relationship with them. Most of the time, you'll get a message from them telling you who their ideal referral would be. You now should send them a message that respond back to them, telling them when you see someone like that, you will refer them to them. Or go to their profile and click on see contact info and give them a call. Other contact info, just get their phone number, or again, their employer's phone number, and thank them for letting you know that you got an idea, photo. Why don't we get together for a cup of coffee so that you can find them? The idea that you always want to do is to be able to get in front of them with a phone call, whether it be the connection, birthdays, congratulations, endorsement, any of them. As soon as they respond back to you, you want to send them a message, and then you want to do the script that I'll be going over in a minute for getting a phone call with them and talking to them, so that now they'll open a door to talk to you. But getting leads, sending a congratulation message, it's a similar thing. You just click on notifications, and you see where it says you click on a congratulation ones, where it shows you those who say. Then you click on say congrats, and you click in and you paste the best congratulation message. As previously, before sending the congrats message, you also opened up where you saw the contact profile, and you click on that, and now you're going to get their phone number and email address and name. So now you want to put that on a separate sheet of paper so that now you make a note of the connection's name and phone number. If the phone number is not indicated, try again the company's website. You do the same process for endorsements, birthdays, and congratulation messages, because now we want to call them up and just simply try to talk to them, to get to know them, so that you could set up an appointment with them. But the script for the birthday and congratulation message is very simple. Hi, this is Ken from LinkedIn. I just sent you a birthday message on LinkedIn, but I realized how impersonal messages are. So I wanted to personally thank you by phone. I thank you. How is your birthday going today? Are you having a great day? How are you coping with this COVID virus? And you just start the conversation going. For connection, it's a similar one. All right. I just wanted to thank you, message, for accepting me as a connection, but I realized how impersonal messages are, so I wanted to personally thank you by phone. How's your day going? Et cetera, et cetera. The whole important part is do not leave a message if their message machine comes on. Just hang up, and then you get back to them. If they see that they had a missed call and call you back, just recite exactly what we've said here. The whole objective is to start a conversation with them and then to set up an appointment. I'm going to go over with you something that I feel is very, very important for all of you, and that's hiring a virtual assistant, because being in business is something that takes up most of your time. And a virtual assistant could be doing all of these things for you, plus so much, much more. I've been using John Davern, who I'm going to ask to come on in a few minutes to go over with you, make you an offer you can't refuse, actually. But I've been using them for many years, and every month I check my return on investment. And last month I had a 327% return on my investment by using them. So here's some important tips. You're making better off making sales, but you want to hire a virtual assistant to send LinkedIn connection messages, send thank you messages, endorsements, birthdays, congrats, set up appointments for you. The benefits of using LinkedIn, according to LinkedIn and my subscribers, they're getting up to 44% response rate just on the connection messages. For example, if you sent out 100 messages per month, you get up to 44 prospects to present your product and services to. So if you add in the birthday and the congratulations and the endorsement methods, my God, you'll have people to talk to every day. You'll have at least 10 to 20 people just to be able to get on the phone with and talk to them and try to set up appointments. I mean, that is just the whole idea behind success in this. But I've been using virtual accountant for over 5 years now and found it to be useful. The VAs can help you grow your network by helping you create and optimize your LinkedIn profile for searchability. I mean, just like on LinkedIn, when you type in a keyword, on Google, when you type in a keyword to search for something, you want to be able to come up first when somebody types in a keyword on LinkedIn. But you can have them send your connection messages, joining LinkedIn groups, posting interesting articles to your groups, setting up appointments, and I could go on and on and on. VAs create prospects for you to present your product and services to in order to make sales. Now I'm going to pass it over to John to go over a few things with you. But like I said, it would behoove you to stay on the line to go over this, because I think John could help you out a great deal. John, thank you.
Yeah, so thanks so much, Ken. Thanks everybody also for being on the call today. So I've been working with Ken for probably more than 5 years. Ken's been using our virtual assistant services to do his LinkedIn and other tasks. And I was also part of Ken's coaching program from before. This technique that Ken went over is something that for me has stood the test of time. Ken had a virtual assistant doing it, and then I started doing the same technique, and it has consistently delivered leads on a weekly basis to me. So what I'm going to go over with you today is I'm going to give you a high-level overview of your LinkedIn strategy. So Ken went into the tactical pieces and very specifics, and I'm going to kind of give you a high-level bird's eye view of how you can use LinkedIn to market for your business. Then I'm going to go over some additional marketing tasks that you can start doing right now to generate leads for your business, and then cover how you can delegate some of those tasks to a virtual assistant to save you time and while also increasing your revenue. So just a little bit about my background. So my background is in corporate HR. I've been working in corporate HR for about 20 years, and in the early 2000s there was a real estate boom, and I wanted to jump on that and start my own business also in real estate while maintaining my corporate job. And I was working about 50, 60 hours a week in my corporate HR job, and trying to do real estate on the side. It was really difficult and challenging for me because of my work schedule, and then trying to do real estate and trying to follow up on leads. And it was really affecting me in terms of, you know, my health and work-life balance. And some days, you know, I'd only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, sometimes even less than that. And fortunately, I went to a conference and I learned about hiring a virtual assistant. And what a virtual assistant is, it's a home-based remote worker, and they can do all kinds of different tasks for you. And my first virtual assistant that I hired was from the Philippines, and Philippines is a good place to hire virtual assistants from because they're fluent in English, have college degrees, strong backgrounds, and it's cost effective because it's lower cost of living there. So the price point, you know, if you're a business owner, you might be on a tight budget just starting out, you can hire virtual assistants there for below what most minimum wage would be here, but you're getting somebody who's highly talented, highly experienced, and has a college degree with good communication skills. So I hired my first VA and had the virtual assistant do repetitive postings indicating that I was interested in buying and purchasing properties. And I was able to do my first couple real estate deals with the help of a virtual assistant. And after I did that, people started approaching me and asking, you know, hey, can you help me find a virtual assistant to help me in my business? And so that kind of evolved into virtual assistant talent. And since that time, we've helped hundreds of business owners to get set up with virtual assistant services for all kinds of different tasks. And, you know, when you look at different tasks that you need to do for your business, they kind of fall into like 3 different categories. So the first category might be what things that you should be doing for your business that you just don't have the time to do. And then the other category would be different things that are essential for the business, but really time consuming and you just don't like doing those activities. And then other things might be things that you just don't have the technical expertise to do. So maybe you don't have experience in digital marketing, or you don't have experience in designing a website. And so what my company helps people do is we do free consultation with you, find out what your business is, and walk you through, handhold you through that whole process of hiring a virtual assistant to help you with those things. So as far as tasks that you can delegate to a VA, one of those tasks is this whole LinkedIn marketing task. If we take kind of a bird's eye view of it, when it comes to LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you have a very robust profile. So similar to when you're searching for things on Google and you type in keyword searches, so whatever your business is and whatever your product or service is, when people search on LinkedIn, it works similar to Google. They will find your profile if you have a good profile that has just accurately your products and services and what type of experience that you have, and your name is going to show up in the search when they're looking for people to connect with, or if they need a particular product or service or need to work with somebody, that's going to help you to show up in their search. And similarly, when you are connecting with people, you want to do that with the perspective of connecting with people who, as an example, are non-competitors but have the same customers as you. And that's something important to think about. So if you are, let's say you're a real estate agent, Maybe you want to connect with CPAs or accountants, or maybe you want to connect with financial planners, people who are going to have kind of the same type of customers, but they're not necessarily direct competitors. You want to look for people who are going to be good referral partners for you that can refer business to you. Also, you want to connect with people who are key influencers, and those are people who are going to have people in their network that could be good referral partners or even potential customers for you. And then the last group, of course, is people who could be potential customers for your business. So you make those connections on LinkedIn, and you're going to be sending outbound connections to people. And at the same time, people are going to be searching for you, and you'll receive inbound connection requests. And one of the important things with that is, and Ken went over this, is when you're responding to those, whether somebody's accepting your connection or you're accepting a connection, you want to have a good thank you message to that person. And it's not just the standard thank you message. It has to have some key components that are going to help you to convert that person into just being a connection, but to being a good either referral partner or potential customer. And so your messaging needs to have 4 key components. And if you look at Ken's messaging, especially if you go back and replay the webinar, you'll see it has these components. And this is what will make or break this type of activity when you're connecting with people. Because when I first started out, I was doing very high volume connecting with people, but my messaging was not very good on it and converting those people into clients or customers. But working with Ken, participating in Ken's coaching program, I had the benefit of Ken taking a look at my messaging, and he tweaked and changed it. And that made the difference between just doing high volume without much conversions to consistently converting, because I had a good message. And so in your messaging, you want to make sure that you have in there your value proposition, how your product or service can solve their problems or improve their situation better than the competition. So something in there that touches on that. The second thing you want to have in there is offering to help them. And so offering them, hey, if you need any ideas on marketing, be glad to talk to you about that, or asking them what type of people that they're looking for their business products or services. So what type of referrals are you looking for? The third thing is inviting them to join your LinkedIn group. Now, I have a LinkedIn group, but that's something that you can create. And, you know, as an example, maybe you're mostly doing business in a particular geographic region or a city. You can name that group by that city, and then whatever kind of your industry niche is, you can create a LinkedIn group. And in that group, you're going to post useful content. Content that people are going to, you know, as an example, you might have like a Bay Area real estate group or something like that, or Bay Area housing market, some sort of group that's going to be as of interest to people. And then you're going to put useful content in there. You're going to initiate thought-provoking discussions, challenges, pain points that maybe people experience, respond with solutions, and generally insert a value proposition. So, you know, an example might be 10 mistakes, you know, or key mistakes that people make when putting their home on a market, and then you're offering some solutions, you know, to that. So you're building your credibility and reputation in that group, and you're building a following. The fourth thing is making sure that you have a list building opt-in in that message. So if you notice kind of the messaging that is sent out, part of that invites that person, hey, as a new connection of you, I wanted to give you a copy of my free ebook on such and such. And they click that link, and then that gets them into your mailing list. And then you can follow up with that person with useful content, articles, promotions, discounts. So you've probably heard in different marketing courses and training that you've been to, the importance of having a system to follow up with your potential customers, because they need to hear that messaging multiple times before they end up purchasing or signing up or becoming a client. So that's another key component that you want to have in your messaging. And you're going to get positive responses from this. And as you get positive responses, you want to follow up. And as Ken mentioned, it's really important. That's kind of the key is the follow up. The follow up could be a LinkedIn message, it could be an email, a phone call, or appointment setting. And that follow up is something that you could also delegate to a virtual assistant to do. So for example, you get a positive response, you could have a virtual assistant call them and set up an appointment, with you, or it could just be a message that attempts to schedule an appointment time. So this is kind of the high level overview of the LinkedIn process flow. And again, it's something you can do on your own, but it's also something that could be delegated to a virtual assistant. And again, key component of this is any of these marketing activities, your techniques that you do, you want to make sure that they're successful techniques. And that's one of the key values that I had, as I mentioned before. If you're sending out a message and you're not getting results, then tweak or change that message. And that's why, when I worked with Ken on it, with that type of intervention, it made the difference with the conversions. So in LinkedIn, you're building your network of connections, and those connections can then be added into your email marketing database. So it's one of the things that a virtual assistant can do for you is they can take your contacts from LinkedIn, from the spreadsheet, put it into your email marketing platform. If you're also attending events, back when we were able to physically attend events and we're collecting business cards and so forth, you can also scan your business cards and have your virtual assistant put those contacts into your email marketing program. So that way you're consistently communicating with these potential clients and customers. And one of the things I learned in a recent conference that I went to was when you're sending out newsletters to people, I thought, well, if you communicate too frequently, that's going to lead to unsubscribers. And yeah, you've got to kind of reach that sweet spot on it. But if you don't communicate frequently enough with your list, those people become unfamiliar with you. And then when you send them an email, if it's been weeks or even months, they're like, who is this person? And they'll unsubscribe. So you want to consistently communicate with people. It could be a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, but you need to engage and maintain familiarity with your list and your potential customers. So next I'm going to cover creating draft newsletter templates. So for me, there was a point in time where I was trying to manage my newsletter all by myself, and it got to the point where I really was not sending my newsletter out on a frequent basis. But this is a task that's really important for you to communicate with your potential clients and customers, and it's a task that you can have a virtual assistant help you do. So if you look here, this is an example for Ken Varga for his newsletter. The virtual assistant created the email template. They did the graphics on it, and they put the framework of it together. And then Ken provides to the virtual assistant what content that he wants in the newsletter. And then the virtual assistant will send it out to his list. So that saves a lot of time if you have the VA to do that, or if you don't have the graphics experience. Having a virtual assistant do that for you will help you make it easier to get consistent newsletter and communications out. You could even take it a step further where if you don't even have the time to create a blog or create a content, you can give a VA general guidelines. Hey, research this particular topic and write an article for me, and then you could just proofread the article, make any tweaks to it, and then before it gets sent out. Here's another example of a newsletter. This is for Executive Next Practices Institute. So they're a organization for C-level executives and C-suite and coaches and business owners, entrepreneurs. This is the newsletter that our virtual assistant does for them, and so basically put together the graphics, the templates, and promoting of upcoming events, and then sending that out to the E&P Institute list. So it makes it a lot easier if you've got the help or support in doing that to get that out. Now, As business owners, I think we've all had to look into, in many cases, operating in a different way. So a lot of the client or customer interface that was possible with face-to-face meetings or big events, we've had to think differently about that. And here's an example with EMP Institute. They're in Southern California, and they would regularly hold monthly meetings where they have different topics and they promote those events, and people would go to physical locations for these big meetings, you know, with hundreds of people that attend it. And now with this COVID-19, you can't do that now. So they had to think of a different way and different approach. And this is something you can think about too for your business if you're needing to interact with customers or you put on different types of events. In this particular case, what the virtual assistant did, as you can see here, they put together a newsletter template promoting a virtual event that has featured speakers on it. And then that newsletter gets sent out to the list, which the VA sends out the list for the client. And then the person can register. So the VA set this up on Eventbrite so that the prospects could sign up online using Eventbrite. And Eventbrite allows you can have it certain things set up as being free, or you can set it up to be a paid event, and then the VA set it up for e-commerce so that people could pay to attend the virtual event. And then the event was held using Zoom, and Zoom's a really good tool that you can use to hold these large events with people. And I just attended a Zoom event that had probably close to 2,000 people attending a marketing conference that normally would be hosted. It was actually going to be hosted in Orlando, and they couldn't hold it, so they held this 2,000 people event, and it was amazing. You could actually have little breakout groups where they pulled from the 2,000 people, and they pulled people into smaller rooms and smaller networking, so people could talk to each other. So a lot of possibilities on this, and you know, this is something that a virtual assistant can help you with different components of that. Another example here is of a newsletter and also a website. This is actually something that I just launched a month ago, nicehomedecors.com. So it's business idea and setting up an online store selling do-it-yourself paintings, wall decors, clocks, and so forth. So the virtual assistant designed the website for me, researched the different products that we would sell on the website. They looked up some data on Amazon.com, what products were selling, and put that together, set up the shopping cart process, the e-commerce side of it, and doing the Facebook marketing. And so that site's launched about a month ago. We've had 1,000 or about 100 orders in the last 30 days or so. So we're consistently getting orders, and we're just doing Facebook ads for that. So that's something, you know, too, if you have a business idea, a virtual assistant can kind of help you from the starting point of designing the website. They can create sales copywriting for you. They can set up the shopping cart system and then do the marketing after that, and even the order fulfillment and customer service. So if people call in, and they can field customer calls for you as well. So again, newsletter, sending that out is really important to communicate with your prospective clients and customers on an ongoing basis. This is something where the VA can set that up and send out and schedule your newsletters for you. So this is an example too where you can have, if you have blogs, virtual assistant can, on the technical side, post those blogs to your website as well. And this is an example with Ken on the back end side. The web design VA goes in and posts the blogs to the site. So as I mentioned before, web development projects is another thing that virtual assistants can do for you. So another example with Ken has a program he's going to talk to you about in a little bit, but with Ken, he has a number of different training modules and training content, and what the virtual assistant helped do was to organize that to create a training platform type website that has the content that is a membership-driven type site where a person can make a payment, register for the training program, and then gain access to those training materials. So that's a different type of thing. If you have a business idea where you need to sell like ebooks, or you want to sell a training program or so forth, the virtual assistant would be able to help you with doing that. And specifically like a web designer or web administrator type, web administration type virtual assistant. So there was a lot of work involved in putting together Ken's training website. Ken had videos that needed to be edited. Then you got to put the text on the video. There's the whole back-end system and organizing all the PDF files and all the audio files and video files, and the shopping cart system. So again, it was a big project, but by having virtual assistants assist with that, we're able to kind of shorten the timeline of putting all that together. So when you're looking at different tasks that you can delegate to a VA, I think it falls into two major categories here. One would be what work needs to be done to grow your business, and then what work needs to be done to just run or keep your business running. And there's all these different type of tasks. So growing your business is going to involve like digital marketing, website, your ads, your graphics, your lead generation systems. It could also be telemarketing and sales type calls. Work that needs to be done to run it could be just your accounting, your bookkeeping, some of the administrative tasks, responding to customer inquiries, could be HR related if you recruit people for your business, order fulfillment, project management. So these are all different types of things that you might need help with. And then you just ask, can this be done remotely? And now in today's environment, more things are being done remotely. Like before, you had people coming into the office. Well, now a lot of people can't come into the office because we've got social distancing things in place in a lot of areas. So it's more common practice now for tasks that maybe previously been done in an office that people are having now to do it working from home anyway. So most of the things you'll find that in certain ways, maybe by changing it around a little bit, can be done remotely. And there's a lot of communication tools that are out there. So GoToMeeting and Skype and document sharing, collaboration, project management, dashboards that multiple people can work in at the same time. So there are a lot of tools available that can allow you to have this work done remotely. Well, a lot of times people say, well, if I assign this task to somebody, I don't have any work instructions, and I don't have time to create the work instructions for somebody to do this task. Well, you can spend the time to create the work instructions and bite the bullet on that. And that's something that I've done, where I've spent maybe an hour, hour and a half sitting down, creating a standardized work for a repetitive activity that I was always doing. And that would save me, 10 hours a week, because by just spending that 1 hour documenting everything, I could have somebody do that repetitive task. So it was well worth my time. But there are other activities that the VA is just going to know how to do. For example, when we talk to you about, if you call us up and ask to get a free consultation, we'll find out from you what type of business activities you need the virtual assistant to do. We can find a person specifically qualified to do that activity. And so they're going to know, for example, if you need somebody to run Facebook ads for you, we would get a person that's experienced in running Facebook ads that has done that in your industry. Some of these things you can get somebody specific so that it's really not going to involve very much time to train that person. So the whole idea is, as a business owner, a lot of people try to migrate from a corporate job and have their own business, and because they want that work-life balance, but they end up working more hours than they did with a corporate job. I was looking online and reading some articles, and a lot of things out there will say, well, a lot of business owners are working more than 50 or more than 60 hours a week to operate their business. And one of my goals, with having the virtual assistant business is, I've been there before. I've worked those type of schedules, and I want to make sure that business owners have the opportunity to really have a good work-life balance, and that there are a lot of these different things that can be delegated to a VA. Just really quick, just showing a few slides on some common tasks that can be delegated. So we do get a lot of clients that are either real estate agents and investors, and so you can have people, the virtual assistants, do customer service calls, they can do prospecting calls, telemarketing, and then they can do all the lead generation type tasks, posting advertisements online and making follow-ups. So there's different things that you could have a virtual assistant talent do for you if you're in real estate. Here's, we get a lot of insurance agents that have virtual assistants helping them out with various different tasks. And that is, if you're in a regulated industry, you want to make sure that you check with your company, or check, regarding any legalities, and make sure that you're complying with any applicable laws before you're assigning somebody something, because certain things require licensing, of course. So, but the LinkedIn task is a common task that does get delegated a virtual assistant. If you're a network marketing business, you can assign a lot of different things related to like digital marketing, inviting people to opportunity presentations, creating for you, doing video editing and uploading videos to YouTube, doing your Facebook ads, and also some of the back end office and administrative type work as well. So the LinkedIn task that we talked about, this is something that you definitely can delegate to a virtual assistant. It is a volume activity, and then requires following up with your positive responses. This is something that you can have VAs do on a daily basis, and we have virtual assistants that are very familiar with the technique that Ken taught today, and that are familiar with it and can do that task activity for you. So again, as a business owner, a lot of times, with business owners, we try to do everything on our own, and myself included. When I first got started out, I was trying to do everything on my own, and that can really over time wear you out. It can cause issues with your spouse, your partner, your kids, where they're saying, "Oh, you're not spending time with me. You're spending all this time on your business," but yet there's so much that you want to do and you want to accomplish, and there just isn't enough time for it. But if you delegate a lot of these things to a virtual assistant, that can really take the stress off you, and help you accomplish much more than if you were trying to do everything by yourself. And the whole idea is achieving that freedom of time, so that you can spend time the way that you want to. Freedom of place, meaning that you can live wherever you want, or you can work with the people that you want, and having that goal of control over your own finances and financial freedom. So you can look at the website and see, we've got a lot of testimonials up at virtualassistanttalent.com, testimonials. So last thing I'm going to cover, and then I'll turn it back over to Ken, is how do you get signed up for virtual assistant services? So if you're interested in finding more about how a VA can help you and help save you time, you would just go to virtualassistanttalent.com and click request a phone consultation. It's a free consultation. There's no obligation with it. We'll talk to you about what is your business, what tasks do you need support or help with, and then we find out what your budget is and how many hours a week you think you might need a virtual assistant for. And the price point for virtual assistants is, if you look at this, is most cases under minimum wage for a lot of the different states. I mean, like if like California, minimum wage here is like $12 an hour, and then in San Francisco it's like over $15.95 an hour, or $15.59 an hour. You got Chicago, which is going up to $14 an hour in July. LA is $14 an hour. New York City's $15 an hour. So the price point of this, especially if you're a business owner, it's affordable for you and can work with any type of budget. So for non-technical virtual assistants, it's usually starting under $9.95 an hour. That's for doing admin tasks, social media, research, data entry, and then technical VAs, which could do like graphics and programming and web design. That's starting at $13.95 an hour. So all you do is you contact us. We do a free consultation, find out what skills you need for the VA, what your budget is, and then it's just like a executive search firm or staffing agency. We go out, we find the talent, we turn it around within 2 or 3 days and send you the resumes. You interview the virtual assistant, and if you like the person, you hire them. You prepay for a certain number of hours that you want the VA to work. As the VA works those hours, it gets deducted from your balance. You can cancel at any time. If you don't like the VA, you can replace them. We handhold you through the process. We're providing you with VAs that have track records, that have worked with other clients or referred by existing VAs, and we monitor them for time and attendance. We do screen captures to make sure that they're working. So it's really helps you through that whole process. And there's a special promotion here. If you call, you get set up with a free consultation, and you do end up signing up for our VA services. There's a promo for people on the webinar to get $50 off, as long as you're signing up for a minimum 10-hour-a-week program. So, I guess another point to bring up with that is, when you're assigning tasks to virtual assistants, you want to make sure that you're assigning them tasks that are effective and successful. And again, with this LinkedIn task, kind of the key component of that was, I was part of Ken's coaching program, and he was able to kind of provide me feedback on what I was having the virtual assistant do. And that's something that really helped to deliver, for me, by having that benefit of working with Ken. So I'm going to turn it back over to Ken, and Ken's going to talk to you about his the training program.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you so much. That was really wonderful, and I hope everybody takes advantage of the situation to get you into the to do the virtual assistant stuff and really keep going, because it's been so much easier. But anyway, over the years, many of you have begged me to develop a training program that could take your business and double it within a year. And that's what I've done. So let's go over that a minute. Many of you have said to me, you work too hard, you're worried the increase in competition, that your customers are going to buy directly from your competition, etc. It's time to transform your life. The program is going to double your income within the next 12 months. It's going to help you to retire in a lifestyle of your dreams. And what I'm going to go over now, we'll give you secrets that'll help you. But the Build Your Fast training program consists of 42 modules, extensive, over 3,000 pages of ideas and strategies. It's both online and offline strategies. And 40 hours of pre-recorded coaching calls, by the way, on key topics that are pertinent to building your business, which I'll go over in a moment. But anyway, under the 42 comprehensive training modules, you're going to be able to download them in PDF format and convert it to MP3 audio so that you could listen to the module in your leisure. Some individuals like to read, some individuals like to just listen. So that's why I've done the both of them for you. And these are some of the topics that I go over. So it's very important to just pause it right here and look at what the modules entail. But anyway, you're going to learn simple tricks with these one-on-one question and answering sessions with my subscribers. During the coaching program, I went over a whole bunch of stuff, but it's an audio download that you're really going to learn an awful lot from. But here's a sneak peek inside the training platform. When you go to buildyourbusinessfast.com, it's divided into 13 sections, with each section having a general theme and multiple modules with each section. As an example, section 1 is all about list building and how to make your database work for you. So in here, you got the module 1. You click on it. You can see where you can download the PDF file and the audio recording. The section 13 tab is the coaching call. So you just click on it and you can download the 40 hours of stuff like how to turn that list of prospects into customers, how to constantly get new ideas and have a marketing mindset, the value of database, etc. I could go on and on about it. But a lot of individuals have asked me about what do other people think about what I've done over the past and how I've helped them. Here's a testimonial from Brian Tracy. I'm sure all of you have heard of Brian. If you can, just take a moment, pause it, and read it. Then there's also Mark Victor Hansen, the co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. Again, just pause it and read it. And here's Dan Kennedy, all right? A dear friend of mine. Just pause it and read it. So the investment, by the way, is only $497. You get full access to the 42 training modules and the MP3 audios and the 40 hours of coaching calls. It's very important, that it'll just teach you how to get more customers than you can possibly handle. But here's my guarantee. I personally guarantee that if after 1 year from the purchase date, and if you've implemented my strategies in this training program, you don't get at least one new client or customer, I will return your full investment. All you have to do is show me that you've implemented the strategies in each module. Now, as a bonus, all right, when you invest in the program, I got a bonus of over $5,000. I'll give you 1 hour of my coaching call time where I'll share other ideas with you personally that will help you create customers. And also, John's going to offer a podcast, how to find your A team and outsource your marketing, even if you're on a small budget. Total value is $5,097. And here's a little bit about the program John's going to offer you as the bonus. But also now, over the years, the last couple of months, many of you have been mentioning to me that because of competition, because of the COVID virus, and so forth and so on, that it's very difficult to afford the $497. So they've asked me to go into and take the modules and print them up individually for your purchase individually instead of investing $497 all in one shot. So what I've done is you could just go to the website, buildyourbusinessfast.com/e-books, and you'll see the two that we've done. They're very extensive. One is how to turn your database into your personal goldmine. And the second one is how to turn your current customers into advocates so they bring new customers to you all the time. All of you need these modules, so I would suggest very strongly that you do it. But they also come with the audio download of the ebooks, by the way, converted to MP3 format, so you can listen to them at your leisure. Anyway, here's the link again to go back for the programs. Here's alternative links. If you're in network marketing, you can go to buildyourdownlinefast.com, and that's where I also have another training program. All right, John, I think we got time now for some questions and answers. Why don't you take over for a little bit?
Okay, yeah, so there's already some questions here. There's a couple ways to ask some questions. The first way is if you want to ask it over audio, there's a little button that you can push to raise your hand, and then I'll unmute you. And the other way is to type your question in the question dashboard. So let me go through. We've got some questions here. The first one is one person is asking about if there's going to be a recording available. And yes, there is. So within a week or less, you're going to get, if you registered for the webinar, we're going to send you out a link so you can listen to the recording. So that's Sharon was asking about that. Next question is from Keith. So Keith is asking, in my marketing efforts, I conduct weekly Zoom webinars, which I need to drive potential prospects for both annuities, creating private pension for guaranteed lifetime income, and debt elimination using whole life insurance. Would this be a good fit? So Ken, did you want to answer that? You want me to answer a portion of that, or?
Yeah, no, I'll take it over. Hi, Keith. I would suggest that you go, do you have a paper and pencil handy? Go to buildyourpracticefast.com. That's where I think you'll be able to, that's the training program for financial advisors like yourself. The business owner one is good for you also. The principles are all the same. It's just that at buildyourpracticefast.com, I massage it more towards the insurance industry and advisor industry. Hope this helps. If not, give me an email, send me an email, and I'll be glad to direct you in the right way or help you in any way I possibly can.
Okay, I'm going to check the dashboard here. See if anybody has their hand raised. Okay, another question just came in. What programs do you have for accountants? So I guess, you know, if you're, this is from Paula. So if you're talking about on the virtual assistant side, Paula, there's a number of different things that we could help, you know, in terms of an accountants, and one would be on the digital marketing side, so on lead generation, so driving traffic to your website to gain different potential clients. Also, too, in terms of the, so I'd say on the marketing side can help. It can also help in terms of a customer service or having somebody answer your phones for you. And then third major area would be actually helping with accounting type tasks or bookkeeping tasks, anything if you're in tax preparation. Some of those tasks we have virtual assistants that have also already worked with accountants or CPAs or helped folks that are doing the tax preparation. So that's kind of on the virtual assistant side. I think, Ken, you know, did you want to speak about, you know, in terms of
Yeah, I do,
training?
John. On this program here, it applies to all business owners, including accountants. And what it does is it will help you to generate new business. If you just do what I've told you here, you'll develop prospects, like I said, 10 to 12 of them every day. And also the training program, if you implement the strategies there on a consistent basis, you'll definitely have clients coming in all the time. So I hope that answered your question, Paula.
So let's see if we have any last minute questions that have come in. I think we've do one last look here. I think we covered all of the questions, Ken. So I think we're all set here.
I just want to take a moment, John, and thank everybody for attending. And I just want to say that my wishes is that everybody stays healthy so that everybody could be on the next webinars we do, because I plan on doing these consistently to help you create prospects and customers. So with further ado, just everybody keep healthy, okay? And thank you for being on the webinar.